the Gold Coast Titans. I'm really keen to see the Titans this year. So the Gaines, Keenan Palacia from the Broncos, who is pictured for the YouTube viewers, came over. He did his job for the Broncos. I actually thought he was quite good off the bench last year for the Broncos. So it's quite a nice signing that has
He's
gone
skinny.
pretty much unnoticed. He is very skinny. He's got the Dom Young diet. So Harley Smith Shields from the Raiders, which Adam doesn't want to talk about. He's still a bit annoyed from a Parramatta point of view. I think he's trying to say there. So the losses, Aaron Booth has retired. Boothie. We'll try and get him on the podcast. He's a good bloke, Boothie. Patrick Herbert released. So don't know where he's ended up. Let's keep an eye on Herbert's career. Cruz Lemming to Wigan. Remember that? Just off top, you remember Lemmings, the game? I remember as a school kid, that used to be the best game, playing the computer, the school computer, little men.
Is that the one we used to just send them off the cliff?
Yeah, and you had the parachutes and stuff. Bring it back. If anyone out there knows how you can play Lemmings, shoot the page a message because I'm all over that. Sam McIntyre, actually, just personally, Sam McIntyre pictured as well. I haven't given you credit for this yet. I love how you've made it black and white for the departing player for each one. It's a great touch. I love it.
They're leaving. It's like an in memoriam.
That's what you get from that. Is beautiful. Thomas McKelly, who we spoke about last year, has been at, I think it was 7 clubs in 6 years or something. He's gone to the Cowboys, and Toby Sexton was a mid-year recruit for the Bulldogs last year. The re-signing list, there's quite a few, and I know Jez loves going through this re-signing list. Tanner Boyd for till 2025, Jaden Campbell 2026, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui 2033, which is
huge.
It's just crazy, but well done for Tino's. Yeah, David Fafita 2026 and Fodawaker 2027. There's a lot. They've done a lot of work here. Brian Kelly 2026. AKP 2026 and Sam Verrills 2026. So a lot of things are happening in 2026 for the Titans. Off contract this year is Kieran Foran, which will probably be a retirement, I'd suggest. One that would be one to look out for, I think, is Thomas Weaver, who is at the moment second string halfback. I reckon that'll change quite quickly this year. I think he'll become first string by the end of the year. And if they don't move on him quickly, I think there'll be some clubs out there that will be looking for Thomas Weaver to be their 7. What do you think of the gains and losses in your ratings for the recruitment, boys? Yes.
I don't know. I don't know too much about the two. Adam seems to be holding on to something about Smith Shields, which I'm really excited to learn about.
Smith Shields was very much rumored to become a Parramatta, and he's pretty explosive centre. He could have provided that X factor that we needed, but we tried to sign him at the back end of last year when we still could, and the club rejected it, which was just absolutely stupid for a club not listening to obviously what the coach wanted, and the coach had a lot of time for him, and I think Bailey Simus also gave him a massive review, which is quite good when he probably would have actually taken his spot at the time. But the fact he's gone to the Titans is a good signing for them. I don't know what happened with him and Ricky down in Canberra, but the fact he wasn't getting game time was a bit silly. You go watch his highlights package, Jeremy, he'll be very impressed. He's got some pretty good hits out there on the YouTube. His YouTube hits that good, the Newcastle Jets would consider signing him. So those who don't get soccer references, the Jets are known for signing players on YouTube packages. Obviously, as Joel said, did the job at the Broncos. Look, I'll go through their losses while we're at it in games, because one of them I'm disappointed with is Cruz Lemming. Being a Leeds Rhinos fan, a Super League fan, Cruz is one of the best, he was the best hooker across there in the Super League. When he came across, I was pretty excited and just made the dumb choice to go to a club who didn't know how to use him and didn't really need him. Obviously, they had other players there as well, but he was never really given opportunity, and he lasted a year. I actually had a chat with him at the Magic Round last year. He's one of the nicest blokes as well. And now he's gone back to the Super League and not gone back to Leeds. It's absolutely shattering. But like we loaned him out here. They've got those who don't realise they've got transfer fees when they come across in the Super League. So the Gold Coast had to pay that transfer fee to Leeds, which meant he could go back to Wigan. So he pretty much come across for a holiday year. Didn't play a lot of footy. But Herbert left early in the year. Sexton left halfway through last year. Like you said, Thomas McCarley, or whatever, is a bit of a journeyman now, popping around as well. So it really isn't much. Besides bringing in Harley Shields, I can't really give him too much of a rating. I'm going to give him about a 6 because, like, you look at their re-signings, they've probably done a fair bit of work there.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I've gone it was a 5.5, but it might be a 6 purely just on the re-signings. But signing Tino Fasuamala-Aui until 2033, I think, is ludicrous.
It's a Buddy Franklin contract.
Why. Yeah.
It's the biggest risk
I
you'll ever
understand
take.
about locking a bloke in, but that's
the Dolphins effect.
Up there.
It's a Dolphins effect, but it's also like you look at injuries, and if something forced him into retirement, it doesn't come out of their cap because he'll get medically retired. It's if his form drops, and look, contracts mean nothing anyway these days. I guess the biggest risk they take is if his form drops, they want to get rid of him. They're stuck paying a large chunk of his contract, and Jesus, I'd hate to see what the back end deal would be on a 10-year contract.
I'll go 6.5 as well for mine. But for just on the Tino thing, the other thing that worries me, and I think we've mentioned it last year a few times, is signing forwards to these massive contracts. Because as we've seen now with Jason Tamalolo, who is the shadow of the player he was when he first signed that massive deal for the Cowboys. Yes, it seems great on paper in the fans because at the moment Tino's in his prime going, yeah, beautiful, I love this signing, but who's to say in 4 years after he's been taking hit up after hit up, getting bashed at club level, origin level, and rep footy level year in, year out, he's not going to be the same player. Like, it is so hard to be a forward and play for as long. That's why the likes of Webke, 7-7 that are looked at as the best of all time because they did it for so long. But so many forwards these days, they just can't get through the work year in, year out. So in theory, on paper, fantastic signing for the Titans. Love it. But it comes with risk because that would be on big money as well. That would be nearing $1 million, I dare say, each year. So it's dangerous territory. I personally think not having a go at Tino at all. I think he's one of the best forwards in the competition. Just with what we've seen in the past, it just comes with a lot of dangerous territory that I know the Titans, they probably needed to make those sorts of risks because they needed to make sure Tino and Fafita stay there for as long as possible. But in saying that, in terms of the recruitment side of things and the players, I actually really like the Titans this year. I like what they've got, but it's more so to do with what they've already got there and looking like they're starting to work out their team a bit more. Like we talk about the Tigers and the like earlier about sort of finding an identity. I feel like the Titans are doing that this year as well. They're starting to see how they want to play. And maybe, as Adam said, like Cruz Lemming wasn't sort of fitting into that. But maybe they now know, like they've got Sam Verrills there. They know how they're going to play from dummy half. The one that I'm really interested to see is Jaden Campbell's year this year. I think he could be a really, really good player. Sorry, add another one that Parramatta apparently were looking for.
No, I don't want him.
At some point last year.
Just hope he keeps his knees to himself.
But there is, like, Titans, again, if you look at their back line, that is quite a good back line as well. But and Des Hasler, the interesting thing, and I guess a positive, and I feel like a concern at the same time, is Des Hasler. It's a positive because Des Hasler, we all know what he's like, but it's also, for mine, a slight concern because I don't know if the Titans and Des Hasler will match and the style that Des will want to play if the Titans players can adapt quick enough to make themselves competitive when they need to be. Because don't get us wrong, the Titans are in a pressure situation here with Dolphins now coming on board and looking like they're going to have quite a good year this year.
What's the members numbers at? Do we know what the Gold Coast Titans are? Because my biggest criticism of the Gold Coast is, like you said, they need to obviously build. And I'll give you my Hasler thoughts quickly. Hasler, when he went to the Bulldogs, was a shadow of the coach. He isn't Manly. I feel like his heart's always going to be at Manly. It doesn't matter where he coaches. He's never going to have that passion for it. But you're right. They need someone who's going to come in and create that culture and be entertaining. You've got some pretty flamboyant players in their back line that can throw the ball around, be exciting, like Jaden Campbell and Dave Fafita. And obviously the young one, I'm not going to say his name, is Fiona Khan Pereira. I can say his last, can't say his first name. He was brilliant when he came in last year and obviously quick and young, exciting player. They need to have a style that makes people want to watch them so they can get people from the Gold Coast and that area behind them to get some big crowds there. as you said, they are now competing. They've always competed against the Broncos. Now, if I'm a Broncos fan when the Gold Coast, living in the Gold Coast, let's say most people in the Gold Coast would have been Broncos fans when they come in the comp. I wasn't jumping ship to the Gold Coast. I was staying with Brisbane. Brisbane were obviously having good times. Yeah. Now they're competing against the Dolphins as well, who would be cutting into some of the area. And we've seen what the Dolphins bandwagon's been like and the excitement around the Dolphins because they had that history and culture the Titans didn't have. My concern for them is that Hasler won't play that style of football that they need to be the entertainers. And they do need to be the entertainers if they are going to go anywhere this year.
Yep. Yes.
Yep. I'm just excited to see how long Tino's mullet will be by 2033. I think it might be down to his calves by then, so that'll be fun.
How many suspensions will be from him getting it pulled?
I understand signing and locking him in, especially because he is such a hit with the kids. He's so good off the field and what he does off the field and how he interacts with fans. So I understand that as a marketing point of view. But as a rugby league fan, I feel a little bit robbed that we might not see Tino, apart from Origin, in a different team playing with some better players. So it's a little bit greedy.
I thought you were going to zing him then and say, besides the big games at Origin, we're never going to see Tino play finals football again.
Yeah, well, maybe.
What about?
I also like that Chris Brandle got re-signed because that was a fun little swap deal that they did with the Knights, and it's nice that he got a contract to 26.
Leeds United Seagulls Junior.
Yes.
What's our finishing positions here for the Titans? I'm actually putting him in the 9th to 12th bracket. I think there's going to be some improvement.
9th to 12th. Thereabouts last year. I think that's kind of going to be their position for a while. Look, they upset us. They turned up for some games we thought they could have gone. I think they had Penrith pretty much beaten there for quite a while, one of those games, and then just gave it up. So I got them 9th to 12th as well.
Yeah.
Jez? Oh, he's going low.
No, I'm going to go 9 to 12 as well. It's so close to being in that top 8, and it just, I don't think if they can find their style of footy that they want to play and stick to it, as you two have touched on, they will make the top 8. But there's just sometimes where you watch the Titans play and it's just like they didn't show up. So if they can get rid of those 2 to 3 howlers that they have throughout the season where they get blowout scores put against them and then they have that knock-on effect for the following rounds, they might find themselves playing finals footy.
No, mate, summarising that, you're going to be host next week. I love it. I do agree there. I think the Titans are one of those teams this year to watch, and it's hard because I actually feel like most teams that finish in the bottom 8 or the bottom 9 from last year have improved, have made some pretty smart signings and retention decisions for this year, which makes the competition exciting, which we will get to. Don't want to get into it too much, but boys, it's been a long one. We had to choose a week where we got through the 5 teams to just get on into whack with the 4 coming up, and this is the one we chose. So I hope everyone does enjoy this episode. Again, make sure if however you're listening or watching, you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and give us a rating. It goes a long way. Sorry about the producer. He did fix it on the run, so I reckon he gets extra points for that. So, and the live has started. Thank you once again, guys. And I hope you enjoy the episode and subscribe to League of Inches. Thank you.